Jake Knox here, also representing Furno. On behalf of everyone, whether we're here or not, we really want to extend an appreciation to the Redline group for this journey that started probably about a year and a half ago, when we started really being introduced to many of you down in the Bahamas, and it's grown, the relationship has grown. You know, we have relied on so many of your organizations within Redline to help us in development of new product, beta trials. Others are going to be participating in some other activities with us in the future. And we look at this as a partnership. We did from day one, and we still do. We also don't take it for granted. We want to continue to be the face of EMS to all of you, and we strive every day to continue to raise the bar in the industry for the things that we're developing and working on, as well as providing you as our customers. Last year was a great year for Furno. For 3 years now, actually, we've had sustained growth in a market that's very difficult. But last year's success was driven by Redline. It was. And the contribution back from Furno to Redline, which I'm sure at one point or the other it gets published, that information was very, very substantial. But your contribution to us was even more, and we appreciate that, because it really drove a very, very successful year, not only in revenue, but also in our margins in 2011. So as we fast forward into this year, if you've stopped by the booth, if you've walked up and down the set of stairs, you've seen that we have a new powered stair chair. It's available on the market. We're launching it actually at this show. You may have seen it, but its officially U.S. launch is going to be Monday. So just to tell you a few things about that, number one is that we have been working on this project for almost 2 years. And I can honestly tell you that I believe that it's flawless. The chair has performed exceedingly well under the most adverse conditions, temperature, the weight, its performance. We've tested it at 300, it's a 500 capacity for 500 pounds on the chair. But our testing was a 350-pound person up 250 stairs, and we still had 2 bars left on the battery. We did that 10 times, and we had a consistent result each and every time. And then we continued to test, and about 4 months ago, we started to show signs of it at a few trade shows. But 2 particular Redline members have been very helpful as our testing out in the market. First has been Heart to Heart. Heart to Heart is our tide actually right now. We're waiting for Rob or Jason to decide which one wants to be the leader, but they are our largest PowerFlex user in the United States, along with Alert Ambulance. And we have chosen both of them to work with us on the beta trials for the stair chair. And for the most part, those trials are completed. It was very successful, as excuse me, as you can see by the performance of the chair, if you've been able to spend time around it. What we're going to do for Redline members only is for the next 90 days, we're offering you the opportunity to either take your existing stair chair, Furno, and upgrade it. You do not have to replace the chair. It's actually 4 bolts. It goes from a manual chair to a powered chair by 4 bolts. You can do that, or take your existing stair chair from maybe another company and upgrade it to the full package. And for the next 90 days, we're offering $1,000 trade-in or upgrade off of Redline pricing for the next 90 days. So we'll be sending you information out on that. We're not going to hand anything out here just for a variety of reasons, but we will be getting all of the owners of Redline, and it will be sent out through Steve Waldron also, and that'll be for the next 90 days. Lastly, I've been approached about a new cot And we will not show any pictures of a new cot right now, but I'm going to assume that Kurt Orton is the one that blabbed his mouth about this. I don't know why I think that. I just have a gut feeling that Kurt probably, wherever he is, ran his mouth about a future product of Furno. So, for those of you that haven't seen it, I will let you know.
I told 3 people.
You told 3 people. You told 3 people.
One of them was my mother.
I didn't tell you.
You didn't tell me. You told me.
So, you're associated with him. But in all honesty, we do have a new product coming out. The only way to see it is if you come to Furno. You have to buy it. Yeah. Touche. But you come to Furno. It's working. It's there. People have seen it, and they're part of the membership of Redline. It's a phenomenal product. It'll be out probably in the September timeframe. So, and it is a new powered cot. So if you want more information, stop by, and we'll set up for you guys to come in, anybody who wants to come in. So lastly, again, I want to say thank you very much for a great year. If there's anything that you think we should be doing better, you need to let me know. Because anything less than exceeding your expectations is unacceptable to me. So whether it's our sales organization, technical support, customer service, from the top to the bottom, we want to exceed your expectations every day. So again, thank you very much. I'm now going to introduce Jake Knotts. Jake is part of our team, and he is going to spend about the next 15 minutes or so talking about a part of our portfolio that we offer now to the EMS industry. So again, thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thanks, Chris. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. It seems like a lot of you guys have had the opportunity, and girls, to come by the booth and see that demo ambulance we have right there. We bring that with us to different shows just to give that visual effect, and I think it has helped a lot of you understand what ACE-Tech is, how it works, what it looks like. So we're going to get right into this. I want to leave a lot of time for questions because there are a lot of parts of this system, and I'm sure you have a lot of different questions. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Vehicle systems available today. So this is something that I talked about at the booth as well. You have a multiplex system, an idle management system, a GPS system. The list goes on and on and on of what's out there today for your vehicles to get the data out of it, to make the most use that we can out of our vehicles, maximize the use. The thing about that is that's 5 or 6 different vendors that you have to go to, and that becomes 5 or 6 different meetings, 5 or 6 different, 5 or 6 different meetings, 5 or 6 different associations you have to make and keep track of things. One of the things that Furno did when we made this a group company was our goal was to become an integrated solution. So what we mean by that is we're bringing all this together into one solution. I think you saw at the ambulance, we have a multiplex solution for your new vehicle builds, the electronic system. We have an idle management system, which isn't for everyone. If you do a lot of close idling, this is something that we're going to diagnose and figure out exactly how much idling you're doing and apply the idle management function accordingly. The GPS, the vehicle data recorder, this is something that the NFPA in 2013 with the new specifications is going to require every vehicle to have a vehicle data recorder. So we're going to meet and exceed those specifications with the NFPA with our AVI module. And wrapped into that module as well is a safety system. So again, one solution, one company. You know, we've always traditionally been cots, chairs, backboards, the tangible equipment you can hold and use every day. But the buzzword at Furno is definitely innovation and intelligence and integration. So we're making moves into different areas, and one of So we made Ace Tech a group company, and now we're on that side of things as well. So not only are we going to be your solution for cots and chairs and power, but also vehicle intelligence as well. So what are the core benefits? Efficiency. Every day we're trying to improve efficiency in anything that we do. Real-time management, GPS, geofencing, dynamic speeding. This part's really cool. Out there today in the safety systems that we have, you got to set speed limiters, and this is how you score. This is how you determine how fast your guys are going, and this is how you address those issues with your drivers. But what we do is we know the speed limits in whatever zones that you're in. So if you're in a 25 mile per hour zone, if you're in a 45 mile per hour zone, we recognize that, and we can set it up working with you. Say you don't ever want your crews to go 10 over in a non-emergency mode. Whatever speed zone it is, it's going to recognize that, and it's going to send you an alert, or it's going to score into the system so you know at that time in that speed zone. You know, I can't stress how cool that is to have that piece of the puzzle. Real-time alerts, I put that in red too because that's something we're trying to bring the information to you with this system. We don't want you to report, sift, spend 3 hours a day going through the system and reading all these different reports just to get the bits of information that you want on a daily basis. We want to send that information to your cell phones. We want to send it to your email accounts. We want you to get it right away. Critical management, proactive safety, get the information about your battery levels, get the information about your driving behaviors, and send it to you, get it to you right away. Fuel management, I think that the idle management definitely helps that. It's going to reduce your idle time, save you some fuel. But another area of fuel management that we use with these GPS systems, that we use with our fleet management softwares, is better routing, better driving. So if you're not hitting the brakes hard, if you're not accelerating at a high rate all the time, you're saving fuel, you're saving brake pad lifetime. If you're where you're supposed to be on the geofence, your routing time is going to be better, you're saving fuel there. So the whole system is a fuel management system as well. And then the multiplexing, if you've seen the ambulance, and that's actually a picture of it right there, you've seen all the lights flashing and everything. This system is what controls all electronic functions on a vehicle. And as you see, the black box, it's pretty sleek, it looks pretty cool, it has the LED display. Today, if you go to a vehicle OEM and you look inside, sometimes it doesn't look that nice. There's a lot of wires, there's relays, there's different things that make it a little more difficult to diagnose the issue, fix a problem, and not only that, but it can get messy, it can get sort of spaghetti-like. Safety, this is something that we talk about at Furno, with the power, with the different products that we have. We're trying to make it a safer working environment for your employees, for the community, for the patients. The NFPA is, as we all know, is coming around the corner, and safety is the big thing with that. So part of our AVI modules, I mentioned GPS, as I mentioned, fleet management reporting, real-time alerts, dynamic speeding. This is a safety system. It's very similar to road safety, if you've had any experience with that. It has an accelerometer in the module. We're going to pick up speeding violations, we're going to pick up brake violations, anything along that line. And we're trying to change driving culture, driving behaviors in the cab as well. So there's an in-cab alerting system. So that's where we're trying to change the behaviors. Also, real-time alerts sent to your phone through a text message are going to let your supervisors know when infractions have occurred. Cost savings. There is ROI with this system. The most obvious one is, obviously, if you have the idle management system and you do have an idle issue, the Eco Run is going to shut your truck off and save you some idle time. Inversely, save you fuel costs, save you CO2 emissions. But also, with the safety system in the AVI, there's more hidden ROI costs. You have the reduced collisions. So if you have a safety system and you're managing it, and this is like anything that you buy, to get the value out of it, you have to manage the system. So if you're managing the system on a day-to-day basis, you're going to see a return on it. Your accidents are going to go down. You're going to decrease the likelihood of a vehicle going 10 miles per hour to the speed limit without the emergency lights on, getting in an accident in your community. So reduce liability costs, reduce premiums. In the long run, if you can show your insurance companies that you are improving your driving culture and your driving behavior, eventually your premiums are going to go down as well. The better driving equals a longer lasting vehicle lifetime. So if we have our vehicles and we're riding them hard, we're accelerating all the time, we're braking hard, we're speeding all the time, we're leaving it running in an idle situation, you don't know these things. You can't know unless you're out there every day with the vehicle. None of us can do that. So what this ABI does is gives you insight into that, lets you know exactly how hard you're hitting the brakes, how hard you're accelerating, are you speeding, are you idling all day, save our vehicles a little bit of lifetime. Reduce fuel spend, idle management, that's what we talked about just a minute ago. The speed limit driving and geofencing, again, went over that. And the reduced carbon footprint. I go to different services around the country and everyone's different. This is important to some people, it's not important to other people. I'll tell you that we've had a lot of success in Canada because of this. We can reduce that idle time and reduce that carbon footprint, and we actually track the amount of CO2 emissions you're saving. So that's something that you can keep as a business, a record of that year to year, saying, okay, in 2011, our company saved 3 million pounds of CO2 emissions by using this system. And that could be useful one day, it might not be, but to have carbon credit is a pretty cool thing. So again, it's an integrated vehicle intelligence system. We're trying to eliminate vendor A, B, C, D, and E. You having to go to all these different places to get this smart vehicle. We want you to come to one place to get your cots, your chairs, your power, base tech. And again, this is a technology, so we have an action list and it never dies. We're always improving things, and a lot of our improvements come from people like you. We meet with you, we find out what you need in your vehicle, what's the information that you want, and we do our best to develop it and make it happen. And real quick, while we have a little bit of time, I'm going to explain how that EcoRun module works. It's dependent upon battery voltage and temperature inside the vehicle. So if your crew shows up at a post idle at McDonald's, wherever they may be on the street corner, and you have that temperature set inside the vehicle, and it recognizes that that adequate temperature and the battery voltage is at a good level, it's going to shut the vehicle off automatically. It's going to continuously monitor those two criteria. When it gets too hot, too cold, or the battery gets to 12 volts, a critically low level, it's going to start it back up, charge the battery, heat the car up, cool it down. So at this point, if anyone has any questions on any of the three modules, again, it's a multiplex system. It's an ABI module consisting of a safety system, GPS, and fleet management. And then we have the idle management module as well.
Jake, can we retro any of these, or it has to be a new install?
Good question. The ABI module and the EcoRun module are both retrofittable. So our strategy has always been, the ABI is the most robust. So we're going to go in and try and get each customer, if you want to get value out of the system, you need the ABI module. So we want that inputted first into the vehicle. And then after we do that, we diagnose, is there an idling issue? If there is, then you come in with the EcoRun module. So both of those are retrofittable. After the fact, what we want to get to with this integration, the level we want to be at is have success with our customers. So they're going to have these two different modules retrofitted onto their vehicles, and they're going to say, all right, this is working well. We have this one electronic system in our vehicles. Now, we're going to do 5 new vehicles in 2012. Let's see about the multiplex system. So that brings in that ECU, what we call as our electronic control unit at time of vehicle build. Because we're not going to go in and rip out your guys' electronic systems that the OEMs put in just to put that in. We're going to put that in with the OEMs at the time the vehicle being built.
Do you have any set builders that you're using right now?
We, as you know, Rob, this is new to Furno, I should say that as well. This is a new group company, just a year in the partnership, and we've been in and out of OEM's offices ever since the inception of this. We actually have Redline in Canada. If you go to any of the shows, you're going to see the Redline vehicles, and they are using Ace Tech at the OEM level. They really like the control unit. That's the aspect of the system that OEMs are really going to see a benefit from, as well as the AVI with the NFPA specifications. It's going to require a vehicle data recorder. We've had some success with McCoy Miller recently, and that's part of my role with Furno, is to manage these OEM accounts. And we are trying to work at that level, but mostly we need your support at the OEM level to sort of drive that to your builders and say, this is what we want in our vehicles. And then we come in and work with the OEMs as well as yourselves to make that happen.
One more question.
Yeah.
When we came out and saw it at the Redline group, what, Calgary, I think?
Toronto. Yeah.
Canada, whatever. Part of the question we were trying to see is, at the OEM side, were you guys able to find an economy for them during building with the switches and electronics that they would be able to pass on to mitigate some of the install costs or the overhead, the increase in cost on the rig overall? You worked any of that out yet that you're aware of?
I'm not sure I
Well,
want to
remember
understand
all
your
the
question.
switching that's required
Mhm.
on the infrastructure of the vehicle. A lot of them do that pre-wiring. If you did that in advance for them, for the circuitry and so forth, would there
Right.
be an economy to them? Because we would get value in
Right.
idling and all that good stuff. But if you add, and I don't know the price point, we can talk about that later, obviously. But if you can take some of that off in the manufacturing, maybe it makes it more affordable for the end user, instead of adding, $7,000 to $10,000 on top of what the build is.
The sounds like you're asking the advantage to the multiplex system,
Right.
the controller, for the user, for yourselves. Obviously, it's an advantage for the OEM just because you're eliminating labor hours building the vehicle. If you've ever taken a visit to an OEM factory, you've seen that there's 6 or 7 people working on these wire looms, the relay boards. So we're going to make it a little sleeker, more efficient with that black box. It looks cleaner, it is cleaner, LED diagnostic. So the main advantages for the end user would definitely be load shedding. This box is highly programmable. We were at McCoy Miller just recently playing around with it with their lead engineer, and his words exactly were, wow, this is very programmable. We can program your lights to flash however you want them to do in whatever sequential pattern. The load shedding feature is where we're going to work with you to figure out what is your least important electronic functions on your vehicle and what are your most important. And in that list, we're going to go down and shut things off to preserve battery life. So if you have this little dinky light up here that you don't need ever, we're going to shut that off first, and then we're going to keep the dome light on last. That's what we talk about with load shedding. Shut least important functions off down to the most important. So you're going to get that battery management level. As well as the LED display, as you've seen on the module. For diagnostic purposes, you can see the lights flashing on that module downstairs at the boot. They're flashing because they're inputs and output lights, and those input and outputs correlate to those lights that you see flashing, the LED lights. So you know where to go if there is an issue with any one of those electronic functions. That light will turn green, and it'll let you know that at input 13 is where the electronic issue is. So for your mechanical diagnostics, that is going to help you as well. And lastly but not least, something that most crews do every morning is go around, walk around the vehicle, make sure every light's working, make sure everything is as should be. We have a one-button system check. So with those switch panels, you're going to have inside the vehicle this one button to check everything, and it's going to run through, do the diagnostics, make sure everything's working, let you know, off you go. So that's where we see the benefits of that particular control module. And again, the strategy for us is to do the retrofits with the ABIs, the eco runs, and then come with the OEM to bring it all together, one system, again, one company. And you're getting your chairs and your cots, and now you're getting an entire vehicle system.
Just to follow up, not that it's all about money, but when you're putting this into the vehicle, if they're getting an economy on the wire looms and the technology, so forth, have you found that the manufacturers are willing to pass that economy on to us? Or I mean, have you had that discussion yet with them?
We haven't, to be quite honest with you.
We should have that discussion with you, with them then, because that would help us mitigate some of those expenses, because these are things that we need, but also, you know, some expenses that are tacked on the end are not necessarily
You say it well when you say we should have that discussion together, because your support with the OEMs is what we really need. It goes a long way to have you there saying, you know, we are your customer, this is what we want. And we try to show the OEM that, listen, we want to help you sell your product with our product. And that brings up another good point that you make about the pricing. I know it's not all about money, but we want to be completely transparent with this. And I think a lot of you asked me that question and I told you. And it's a lot easier to point at the modules and let you know what the price is. But with that control unit, it's going to be $4,000 on a new build. With the Eco Run idle management module, you're looking at $1,200 hardware costs. With the AVI, if you're going to do strictly GPS and fleet management, you're not concerned about safety system, $2,300 for the module. If you want to make it a robust safety system with the in-cab alerting, driver ID management, so you know that John Doe was driving on Thursday at 6 p.m., then it's going to be a $3,000 system. And with any system that we have where we're bringing information out of the vehicle, we all know that there's a monthly fee. Our monthly fee is $40. If you're using a modem, if you're using a feeding modem or wherever it may be, you don't need to pay our monthly fee. We're going to use your system to get that information out, so you're still only paying one fee. And we actually do have a modem solution now with Furno for this system. I know that's something that a lot of people are saying, we got to have that, that's the ambulance of the future, and that's an additional $800 cost if you want to get the information out that way. You know, as we know, having a modem gives you more options and more flexibility with your vehicle, but if you don't want to go to that step, we use a cell phone SIM card, and that's how we're getting that information to your cell phone in real time. That's how it's getting to the website. And each customer that uses this has their own website. That's how you manage this. You log on with your username and password, and you see all of your vehicles on Google Maps, what they're doing, their status, their battery levels. All of these things are on your own personal website. And when our customers do decide to go with the ACE-Tech system on any of their vehicles, what we're going to do is work with your fleet supervisor or whoever it's going to be whose duty it is to manage the system, and take them through report by report and a WebEx or there in person, so they know how to get the value out of the system, because it's giving you all sorts of data, but unless you know what to do with it and manage it, you're not going to see the value on the system as soon as you'd like to see it. So that's what we do. We work with you, work with your crew to get the most value out of the system. All right, thank you for your time. The ambulance is going to be downstairs for another few hours, so feel free to stop down there. I have to get on a plane, but either of these two guys will be there, and they know enough about it to walk you through it. Thank you.